For the longest possible time, I indulged in drugs. Not cigarettes, not alcohol, but bang. I was almost getting mad. I was not going to school. I was not doing anything with my life. I was a captive of my past. I was not free. My childhood traumas were haunting me so badly. I got raped. Yes, that was a fact. I got rejected. I suffered illnesses that I never chose. So I decided to let go. You know, I fake smiles. I smile all the time, but I'm not fine. So today, I feel I'm getting better and I'm walking out of this place as a better person because I've shared what has been haunting me all this time. So I really appreciate this chance. It's not easy. I'm still struggling myself. I'm struggling to forgive my own mother. But I know one day I will. We buried my father, and during the same days when my calling letter came, I had passed. I had been called to Stare Girls, but my father was not there to celebrate me. Stare Girls was my dream school. That is why he kept on encouraging me to go. So yes, I was going to attend Stare Girls, but he was not there to witness it. And I felt so much pain. So when this letter came, like I just heard about, it was around January. So I did not have enough time to mourn my father. The letter came and within 3 days I was supposed to report to Stare Girls. Now, away from these uncles, I had a relative. Someone who had seen me grow. Someone who saw me the day I was born. This guy knew my mother does not like me. He knew I'm unwanted in my family. He knew my only friend was my father and it's normal. So he told me, like, it is a favor. You literally have nowhere to go. So what I'm going to do, every holiday I'll send you fare. You'll come spend with my family. Mind you, he was doing well. He had a job. He had a family with 2 kids and life was working well for them. And I said, this is in addition, another favor. So life went on and we closed for the long holiday. It was the December holiday. We were going to spend about 3 weeks at home. This man was not helping me anywhere. He was just sending me fare to go to his place. And I remember during some days when I needed money and I knew that practically I had no source, I approached the matron and I would tell her, just give me something to do within the school and pay me. She was in charge of cultural work around. So I would approach her and she would just give me just a few duties to do. She knew my health status, of course. She knew I could not do so much work. I could not stand on the sun for long. So she would just give me something very little to do and she gave me cash. I felt like at least someone would understand. Again, the reverend, who was our theory teacher, was also supportive. Whenever I had issues, I could go to her. Psychological issues, she could sort them so well. She could pray for me and I felt at peace. At this point, I had some people to identify with. The matrons, the nurse, and this teacher. So I remember that term, which was we were to go for the long holiday. This relative of mine never sent fare for me to go to Mombasa. So I did some work around, I got some fare, I went to Mombasa. When I got to his place, he told me, no, I realized that the wife was not there. The kids are not there. He had friendly kids that we used to walk all over together. They liked me and now the house was empty. The household items were not there. It was just like a hall. So there was his bedroom, the sitting room, and the kitchen. It was a 1-bedroom house. And I remember asking him, why is mother so and so? And where are the kids? He told me I disagreed with her and we disagreed. I had to let her go. She is apparently somewhere else with another man. and I have nothing to worry about. I'll just get another woman, my life will go on. I had never come to find this man alone in this house, and so I was like, how are we going to stay here, the two of us? I think I should go look for somewhere to stay. He told me, you cannot go to your mother. Your mother is around. My mother was in Kilifi County, somewhere known as Mtwapa. Mtwapa is not very far from Kisauni. It's just some distance. He told me, your mother does not like you. Yes, your other siblings do not like you either. Where do you want to go? You just have to stay here. And after all, you know, there was someone mentions kingship. Someone tells like, I'm your sister, or like, I cannot do anything bad to you. I'm your uncle, I'm this and this. So this guy mentioned kingship. He told me, I cannot do anything wrong to you. You just stay here. When the time comes to go back to school, I'll give you a fare, you'll go back to school. And then he told me, you know, I never managed to send you fare because I was too busy. In fact, I never realized that you people had closed schools. I said, it is okay. The first week was well, but I realized this man was spending so much time watching TV while I was asleep. He was watching in the sitting room. I was sleeping in the same sitting room. I had my bed there. The bed that I used to sleep on would be transferred from their bedroom to the sitting room anytime I was around. So I remember there was this night I was sleeping and I heard some noises still when I was sleeping. So it's like I woke up. I did not like come out of the sheets. I opened up my eyes, but I was still in the sheets. And I remember there were some noises. It was like a woman screaming. And that drew my attention. So like I opened up my eyes and I was now like staring on the TV. And I saw something I'd never seen before. I'm sorry to describe this. I just have to mention it the way it was. So there was a lady naked and two guys naked. And now what I saw is that like they were getting on top of that woman. I had never seen these things before. In fact, I was seeing a man naked for the second time. The first man I'd seen naked was in my mother's house. And now I was seeing another man and other ladies naked. I had seen my age mates naked at the boarding school. But now, this one was not just about people being naked. The lady was screaming and the man seemed to be doing something on her. I was a naive person as far as such matters are concerned. So now this drew my attention, like, why is this woman screaming? And why are these people naked? These are the questions I had in my mind. And at some point I was tempted to now lift the sheet away from my face so that I may see like properly what is happening. This guy realized that I'm watching and he immediately switched off the TV using the remote. I pretended that I've gone back to sleep. Actually, I turned my head towards the wall, but I wasn't sleeping now. I was having a psychological fight in my mind, like, what are those people doing to that woman? It must be something bad because she is screaming. And then, why are they naked? Like, should I ask my brother why that woman is crying? But when he realized that I was watching, he gave me another look that I may describe as bad. It's like he did not want me to watch. So I said, no, let me ask him, but why is this woman screaming? Those were the questions. I never slept the entire night. This guy, once I turned my head towards the wall, he continued watching till morning. This one went on. Now he realized that the sound would draw my attention, so he would like mute but watch his thing. The first week, that is how it was. Now the second week, things started happening on me. And I realized that I was sleeping for longer hours than I was used to. I could sleep at 3, wake up at 7 normally, but this time I was waking up at 11. I would wake up very weak, and again, I'm sorry to mention these terms, and I would wake up with painful private parts. From my waist downwards, I was experiencing so much pain. I used to have my back used to ache, but I've never had problem with such, like my private parts. So this time around I was waking up with my private parts are in pain, my back has so much pain. I could not figure what is happening. At some point, still within that week, I was not able to walk properly. And this guy realized that I was struggling to walk, was asking me, Mercy, are you okay? Why are you walking like that? I said, my back is very painful. I feel so much pain from my back, but it was not the back. He told me, I understand, you've been having back problems when you are young, so it's like they are coming back. Let me go to the chemistry and get you some drugs. He went to chemistry and he came with a pack of drugs, and one of them I can recall, it was a pack of 28 pills. I used to call them tablets. He told me, you have to take all this medicine, but most importantly, this one. Now he was pointing at the one that had 28 tablets. He said, you have to take each of these one, because if you don't take, these are iron tablets, they are the ones strengthening your back. So if you don't take this, your back will keep on aching, you will never heal. So you have to take all the medication, but pay special attention to this one. I would later come to learn that that was a family planning. It was a daily pill for ladies that prevents pregnancy. But at that time, I was about 15 years in Form 1, I never knew that it was a family planning method. This went on for this entire week. Now we had turned to the next week and things are not getting any better. I was feeling more pain. Now I would not even go to the washrooms for short calls. And my stomach was like swelling gradually. I was feeling so much pain. Still struggling, and the guy was telling me, I hope you're taking medication. Don't you worry, like the medicine works gradually, but at long last you'll be better. You just take your medicines religiously. And I said, okay, this man is so caring. So when I was experiencing this, what came in my mind, you know, in Mombasa, that area we were staying, it's known to be highly infested with satanic powers. So many times you could hear like people were walking literally on water, not the way Jesus did, like the genies were walking on water. We would hear like a wall would part into two and someone would get inside, check things from the house, then the wall opens again and the person goes. So we were used that Kisauni was mahali kwa majini. Now the jinns used to do so many funny things. They could in fact get into the house, cook food, eat, of course when the owners of the house are not around. So the best you could do is to call a pastor. If you don't believe in God, you could call maybe a witch doctor to do magic. These were very common things. So what I thought is, when I'm sleeping, maybe these genies come to overwork me. Maybe they come to give me so much work to do. It was an history that they used to overwork people. A genie would take you to the farm, you cultivate the entire night and then bring you back in the morning. So in this state of pain, I thought it was a genie using me for its own gain. But I never thought the genie was raping me. Rape was not in my mind. I had not encountered a man before. So I thought a genie comes for me, overworks me, and then brings me back to the bed. But there was still something suspicious. I realized that my beddings were changing. I mean, whenever I slept, I would mark the bedding that I've slept on, and I would wake up on a different bed sheet. This was suspicious. Again, my innocent mind said, Mercy Jacob, that genie has adopted another strategy. That genie works you, takes you, makes you do the work, and then when you come, you are dirty. So it washes you up and then takes the dirty sheets and places you on clean sheets. But it was still not adding up. I never shared this with anybody. I never had people I was close to, but still I was that person. I used to keep things to myself. It reached a point I could not take it anymore. There was a time I spent the whole day on bed. I could not even move. This part of my body was like dead. It was not functioning at all. So I said, no, I have to go back to school. And the better thing with Tare girls is that you are always welcomed. Most of the students there used to be homeless, maybe those who have been rescued from domestic abuse, those kids from nomadic families, but they perform well, they could be taken to school at least to have a home. So I said, let me go back to school so that I can avoid what is happening here. And I told this man, I want to go back to school tomorrow. He said, it is okay. He gave me fare. The next day, I was struggling to walk. I took a motorbike to the station, and then throughout the journey, I was feeling so much pain. I go to school, and I was like, after some days, I started recovering. Like, the pain was not that intense. Within no time, something else came up. I'm sorry to mention this, but I started leaking pus from my private parts. Yes, and I was experiencing so much itching sensation. And my parts were swelling. Now, not the stomach, my private parts were swelling. And I was releasing a smelly discharge. So I had to shower like 3 times in a day. I had to go to the dorm captain, borrow the keys, go shower. I never wanted my classmates to realize that I'm smelling. But I did not know why I'm smelling. I kept this for almost 4 days. But I could not take it anymore. I said, yes, this one is an intimate affair. But I have to face that nurse, who was also the matron. I have to tell her what is happening so that I may get assisted. I went to this nurse come matron. And I remember taking off my pants. I told her, look, this is what is happening to me. This is how I am. I'm leaking pus. Where is it coming from? The madam was shocked, and the first question, after examining me, before doing any medication, I remember this lady asked me, Mercy, do you have a boyfriend? I told her, Madam, I've never had a boyfriend in my life. I'm only 15. Why do you expect me to have one? What for? She said, I'm just suspecting you have an STD, which means you must have slept with someone. I told her, no, I've not slept with anyone, so it cannot be STD. If STD means sexually transmitted diseases, then this one is not as sexually transmitted. I don't have sex. I've never had sex. So how can I have a sexually transmitted infection? She told me, like, we don't have the necessary items to test for this, so let me take you to the lab to get tested. So the school van and then the driver, me and the nurse, we went to the laboratory. Now the lab attendants, I mean that clinician was asking me, Mercy, do you have a boyfriend? The same question. I told the matron has asked me this question. So sometimes I get hot-tempered. And now the temp was so high. I told, matron was asking me the same question. I've never slept with a man. I've never had a boyfriend. So don't ask me this again. These people felt like I was concealing something. So like, now they were calm. They told me, Mercy, it is for your own good. We want to know so that this person you are having sex with, we may advise you on how to protect yourself. And now we may advise this guy to go for medication, because what you have is gonorrhea and syphilis. Of course, I was good in biology. I was good in science back in high school. And I knew what these two meant. And like I was not able to believe that I was having gonorrhea, I was having syphilis, yet I never had a boyfriend. So I kept on denying I don't have a boyfriend. Just don't ask me that question. I don't have. So I was given medication, and the matron took me back to school. And when I was in school that day is when I realized I'd been raped. Not by a stranger. Not by a mad person, but a relative. So now I was a victim of incest unknowingly. Someone had taken advantage of me, the fact that I was not exposed. The fact that I had no one to take care of me. Someone had taken advantage of that and had decided to rape me. So now I was able to connect the dots. The pain I was feeling. The fact that my sheets were getting changed before I wake up. Someone must have been raping me for that entire week, then more than a week. This led me to depression. I contemplated suicide so many times. And I remember an incident. There was a river flowing nearby just in school. There was a time I wanted to throw myself inside that river because I thought, if this person who was posing to be so good to me, if he's raping me, where do I go once we close? My mother is there, yes, present physically, but doing nothing about my life. Where do I go? So I thought the only solution was to die. I remember attempting to drown myself in that river, but it never happened because someone realized that I wanted to do that, and she pulled me away, and I never drowned. Every day I was struggling with this rape ordeal, and now that I had seen that man watch a clip of naked people having sex, I was trying to imagine that man did to me what I saw in that clip, and that is what gave me a lot of mental torture. So that woman there was screaming, which meant like he was dragging me not to scream. Those are the kind of thoughts I was having that time. I did not talk to anyone about it. I kept it to myself because I knew once I tell my mother, she'll tell me, yes, I said you are just a prostitute and that's why he raped you. My siblings, no one would side with me. So I kept that to myself. Life went on. I cleared high school. I scored well and I was called to the university to study human resource management. This time round, I had accumulated so much pain. Talk of dealing with constant illnesses, my mother's rejection, my neighbor's stigmatization, the fact that I was brought up in a broken family. Again, this is a rape from a relative. So I had accumulated so much pain in me. I never had peace. When I got into campus, people were free to date, to hang around with men and do everything that people do with men, and I felt so free. I said, Mercy, for the first time you have to get yourself a boyfriend. And the same day I thought about it, a guy approached me. Of course, a good-looking man. This one was tall, was not dark, was light and handsome. So tall, light and handsome. So he approached me and he was a nice person, and I think that day is when he engaged me, the same day. We became partners. I was living in school, he was living outside. He was just about to clear his diploma course, I think in business management. So now within a week I moved into his house. Now we were living like husband and wife. Just imagine we met that day. The guy looked for rings from nowhere that day. He engaged me. And after 1 week, we are living together as husband and wife, and things are working out for us. So looking back, I don't think I fall for this man because at that time I wanted a relationship. I had this pain in me. I had this gap in me. I wanted to be loved. I've never received love apart from my father, who was dead at this time. So I never fall for this man because I wanted him. I just wanted to belong somewhere, to have someone to recognize me, someone to appreciate me. So I was feeling a void that I had in my heart. I just wanted people to know that Mercy is normal. For the longest time, I wanted to isolate myself from people, but I still wanted to act normal. I still wanted to show people that all is well with me. And due to peer pressure in campus, and that void I had in me, that's why I rushed into falling for this man. It's like I'm the one who was driving that relationship. I would tell him, do this, and he does. Like, take me out this day, he does. I want us to have this and this for dinner, he does. He was actually a good man. But if I were to go back, if I were to take my life back, and then I think I would not fall in love with him. Because we were just like two young people very blind. We never knew what to do. We were just exploring life. Things were working well. We were in love. And the guy introduced me to his parents. He was coming from within. So he took me to his people and they approved me. They really love coastal people, so they liked me. And with time, after a month of living with this man, remember I'm taking all the roles. Like I was the wife. I'm doing the wifey duties, all duties, including the bedroom duties, everything. I felt like I wasn't okay. That void I had in me was not full. I still had a gap I needed to fill. And so I started creating troubles in this union. I don't know why, but I just wanted, whenever we had issues, that is when I felt okay. So this guy, after 1 month of living together, I realized that he liked football and we never had a DSTV. The school was nearby our university and it had a DSTV for all the students. In the men's lounge, in the ladies' lounge, there were DSTVs. So he would tell me, Mercy, I'm going to school to watch football and I'll be back. He was a fan of Chelsea. And I remember we had a discussion and he said our firstborn would be named Chelsea. I was about 17, 18, around that age. The guy was 24, far much older than me. So there was a night, whenever this guy used to go to watch football at night, I felt like there was no security in the area we were staying. There were some people around, but I was still afraid. And I remember telling him, I don't want you to go to watch football at night. I feel so lonely. I'm left alone. Why would you leave me? Don't go to watch. But he was such a great fan of Chelsea. He told me, I have to go. Let me go watch football. I'll be back. I cannot watch you. Like, if you were TV, if you were a DSTV, I would watch you. But unfortunately, you are not. I cannot watch you. Let me go watch. Now, such words made me feel very much hurt. I felt like he never cared about me, and I let him go. Once he was gone, the suicidal thoughts were back for the second time now. I wanted to die, like he never wanted me. I thought falling for this man, things would work. I thought getting a man, my life would function, but it was still not functioning. So when he went, we had paraffin in the house. It was almost half bottle of paraffin. I took all that paraffin, I drank the paraffin literally, and I laid on the floor. I was ready to die. And I started feeling dizzy. I started foaming in the mouth, all over my mouth. The smell of paraffin was all over. Now this guy was, I think, wise. When he went, he realized that for the longest time he had monitored my behavior, and he realized whenever we had an argument, I would do something silly. I would either break things in the house, I would either go outside and shout or do funny things. So he thought, this time around, Mercy is likely to do something, so let me go back. Once he got to school, he came back and found me lying on the floor, about to die. Like the paraffin was too much, I was not even breathing. He called the neighbors, they took a cab, and I was taken to the hospital. Now the first aid, I was given some drugs to make me throw up, to let the paraffin out of my body. But that, the doctor told that my boyfriend, go talk to your lady. She seems to have a problem. Go talk to her. So we got home and this man told me, that is after we had seen the doctor, he told me, Mercy, prepare, we are going somewhere today. Remember, it's at night. It's late in the night. The guy used to go to watch football from 10 to around 12 midnight. So this is around, somewhere around 11 by the time we are getting home from the hospital. I'm asking him, where are we going? It's too late. He told me, no, today I've decided to take you out. I want to take you out. Dress properly, we are leaving this house. And I did that. So we got out, we were just walking. I asked him, where are you taking me? He said, I want to take you to club. We used to do clubbing, but not that much. He said, I'm taking you to club. I want you to relax. I want you to be fine. I told him, no, I don't feel like drinking now. He said, I just want somewhere relaxed for us to talk. And we sat somewhere just along the road aside. So we sat and was asking me, Mercy, why do you want to kill yourself? What have I done? Like, I want to know, why do you want to take your life? I told him, I never told this guy I have issues. Remember, things are just accumulating in me. My past is haunting me. My past is not giving me peace. Things are getting worse. So I never told him about my past. I told him, when you left, I felt so sad because we quarreled and you never wanted to stay. So that's why I decided to kill myself. But that was not the reason. I was feeling empty. I was feeling disliked. I needed attention, but there was no one to give me that attention. That's all I needed to die. Nothing was working. So he told me, if that is the reason why you want to die, I have a solution. So from today, I'll never live in that house. Whenever I'm going to watch football, I'll go with you. Even if we have to watch till morning, I'll go with you. And that is what he did. Actually, the next day, by default, I became a fan of Manchester. So he got me a red jersey, not the usual Manchester jersey, but he got me something that resembled the colors of the Manchester club. So I became the Manchester fan. He maintained he liked Chelsea, so he still maintained that. And we could go to that hall. It was full of men, and I was there cheering. Whenever Manchester scored, I could jump, rejoice, and I could pinch him because now, like, they've been defeated. Whenever his team scored a goal, then he would also jump, rotate, feel so good, and at the end he would just carry me up. I was featherlight, he was very tall. So he would carry me up and everyone will see me there, and it was so fun. Those are the fun moments I remember with this guy. This went on until we went for a long holiday. We were still having issues, but this man was very wise. I think I can say he was a good man. I was very childish. I never knew what to do at that age, but he understood my immaturity, and he was a man, a good man, I can say that. Let's give credit where it's due. The things he did, I think not all men can do. So he was a good man. We went for the long holiday. At this time, I had nowhere to stay. I had to stay with friends. I could not go to this man. So during my campus days, I had to stay with friends. I had no home. I was homeless. I had seen this man. He wasn't having a job. He was a student like me. I mean, my boyfriend, but he was doing so much for me. I mean, he was providing, he was refilling the gas, he was doing so much. And I thought, how about getting a job so that when I go back, I can at least assist him with some bills. He'll not have to struggle alone. He needs assistance. And I got a job as a waitress in a bar, in a club. That was the only job available. And I said, I'll take it for the sake of raising money to help this boy. I was having help. He never had it. So I took that job, but that was another problem and another issue still. This guy would call at night. I was not able to receive. It was such a noisy place. And now the supervisor was always on my neck. Mercy this, mercy the other. So I had no time to receive a call when I was on duty. And like he would call the day I'm on duty. If I failed to pick the call, he would call several and then stop calling. At some point, he realized that I was not picking calls. He stopped calling me completely. The long holiday was over. I went back to school. I had to look for this man. And he told me, like, it's like when you went to Mombasa, you got another man because you never wanted to pick my calls. Now I had to explain. I told him I was working as a barmaid. I could not tell you that because I knew you would be against it. You will not allow me to work in a pub. I was working in a bar just to raise some money to help you. He said it is okay. And he had moved from the house we were staying. So he had got to another house with my things. So I joined him in that house. Again, I realized that he was in touch with his ex. When my relationship with him seemed not to work because I was not picking calls, this guy decided to go back to his ex. There was a day I was snooping around his calls and I came across that lady, name withheld. And I called him. I was asking, like, I thought we were together. I thought we were dating. What are you doing with so and so? He told me, Mercy, I did that because I thought we had done. So if you are really back in my life, I'll do away with that lady. And believe me, I will do that To prove to you that I'm serious, give me your SIM cards. I give you my SIM cards. So that if she calls, tell her you are wife to so-and-so, and she doesn't have to call you. The girl never called, and we stayed like that for 2 weeks. I said, all is well, have your cards. SIM cards, and then he gave me back mine. After about 1 month, the same thing occurred. They were together. This time around, they were going for outings. They were having fun. They were calling each other at night. I realized that they were still in touch. And I told him, I called him by his name. Let me refer to him as Y. Why? Like, this lady, you said you are done. You're still together. What is this? I don't remember what he responded, but it must have been something that triggered my anger. And at that particular moment, I said, you know what, Mercy? Nothing is working for you. This guy is back to his ex. Do you know the best thing is to kill yourself? Is to kill him first and you kill yourself. You don't have to live like this life full of so much pain. The guy was coming from the bathroom and he had his towel on. So I went to the kitchen, I took a knife. He realized I wasn't okay after exchanging words. So he was monitoring me, but from a far distance. Like, I never knew that he was monitoring me. So what I was thinking is that I'll take this kitchen knife, the long kitchen knives, and I'll have to jump and stab his chest directly where the heart is. I want to kill him. After that, I'll kill myself. And this will be the end. I'll not suffer anymore. I had planned all this within 1 minute. And I went for the knife. When, I had to jump to access his chest because he was a tall man and I'm naturally short. So before I would jump, he held me by my hands like this. So he took the knife and threw it through the window and was asking me, Mercy, what is this? I told him, no, we have to die, the two of us. Why are you doing this to me? Why don't you settle? We are together, like, why don't you settle on me? What are you looking for, so and so? He told me, Mercy, we need to talk. This is not the best way to sort this. Let's talk. I said, no, we have to die. The guy was energetic, so he managed to hold me on the ground with so much force I could not lift myself. So I stayed there until I cooled. And he was showering to go, maybe to go to see that girl. Once I had cooled down, he told me, I'm not going anywhere. I'll dress up, we'll stay here and we'll sort everything. So that you'll not think of killing me, you'll never think of killing yourself again. But at this time I felt sleepy and I decided to sleep. I slept, and when I woke up, the guy had prepared food. It was about lunch hour. We took the food and just all of a sudden told him, you know what, Mr. Y? I'm tired of this relationship. It's not working. It's not adding any value to me. So, you have to go. It's you to leave this house and go. So the guy was not chasing me. I was the one chasing him practically. I told him, take whatever belongs to you in this house and go. And I was asking, Mercy, like, why is all this coming from? I told him, when I was supposed to get things of my own, you took me into your house, which means I did not look for my own bed, my own seats. I never looked for anything. I came to your house. You never gave me time to get my own items, so it is you to leave. Take your box and leave this house. Now we started negotiating. He was a cool man. He was not troublesome in any way. He told me, no, I'm just about to clear school, but before I clear, I cannot be sleeping on the floor. Just let's share these things. At long last, I agreed to give him a mattress, a table, and a few things. Whatever we shared equally was the pegs. The ones for iron clothes, we shared equally. I told him, just go in peace, I'm done with you. And that was it. I thought by leaving this man, I'll be in peace. I thought I would live a normal life, but it was not yet to be. Now I started experiencing that void of, you don't have a boyfriend, you have nothing. Your friends are doing so well with their boyfriends, but here you are. To cut the long short, I ended up landing in multiple relationships to cure that wound that was developing in me. I never knew that the problem was the traumas I'd experienced as a child. For the longest possible time, I indulged in drugs. Not cigarettes, not alcohol, but bang. I smoked bag severally, and at some point I almost lost my mind to weed. I was almost getting mad. I was not going to school. I was not doing anything with my life. I led as if there was no tomorrow. I just felt like I'm dead. I'm just walking, but I'm dead. I'm not there. Wherever this life takes me, I'll go. And at this particular point, I felt like I could reason. I never called anybody, but I had that meeting with myself and I tried to reflect how my life was. And I realized indeed, I was not living my life. I was a captive of my past. I was not free. My childhood traumas were haunting me so badly. I was not living my life. So I started being my therapist. And I said, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to let go. I got raped. Yes, that was a fact. I would do nothing about it. I would not reverse. But I never chose to be raped. I was an illegitimate child. I was born from a man who was promiscuous. Yes, I could not change, but it was not my fault. I got rejected. I suffered illnesses that I never chose. So I decided to let go. I decided to let all this go. I decided to forgive. And the first person I thought of forgiving was my mother. I felt like she was responsible of all these sufferings I was undergoing. I said if she was present, I could not have been raped. If she was present in my life, if she was responsible enough, then she would not have gotten me with that man who was said to be promiscuous. If she was responsible enough, my father, Jacob, would not have died of ulcers. So I said I'll forgive her. It is not easy even as I speak. There are some things, sometimes I say I've forgiven her, but thoughts come to my mind. My past comes to me and I say, no, I cannot forgive her. So it is a journey. I'm finding peace. I'm finding healing, but the best thing is to let go. Whatever happened, I'm learning to let go. I'm learning to forgive. I may not be a staunch Christian, but I believe that God tells us to forgive if we want to be forgiven from Him. So even my rapist, he's dead. I never killed him. He died of natural death. He was alcoholic and he died of liver cirrhosis. Even in his death, I forgave him. And even if he came here, right here I am, I would tell him, I forgave you for what you did. I forgave you. I don't know what made you do such a thing to me, but I forgave you. So I'm living one day at a time, forgiving people, finding peace within, because almost throughout my life I've been trying to find life in things, to find peace in my books, to find life in other people. I never thought that I could find peace from within me. I thought my life depended on that of other people. I thought I need a boyfriend to survive. I thought if I don't read, my life is ruined. Of course, I can see I've done pretty well academically. I've gone up to the campus level. By God's grace, I'm at least doing some work. I'm working, I'm earning. Although not as I expect, but I thank God, at least I have something to do with my life. But I have to stop being a captive of my past, being a captive of the things that I never chose. I've chosen to be free. So I don't have a therapist. I am my own therapist, and I know with time I will heal. For that matter, I chose to concentrate more on myself. And I remember I said, that is last year, I decided to stay alone without a boyfriend, without any call from a man for almost a year. I just wanted to focus energy to myself, to love myself. These things that I expected to get from other people, I wanted to get them from myself. I wanted to get peace from within, and indeed things are working for me. I'm getting to love myself. My esteem was so low, but I'm boosting it. I'm getting better every day. So anyone out there who has been through all this, who has been through similar experiences to mine, or who has been through something that makes them think life is not worth living, I think today the message I have is to tell you, you can still live, but you need to forgive. It's not easy. I'm still struggling myself. I'm struggling to forgive my own mother. But I know one day I will. So you too can forgive. You too can live a free life. You don't have to be a captive of your past. You know, I fake smiles. I smile all the time, but I'm not fine. So today, I feel I'm getting better and I'm walking out of this place as a better person because I've shared what has been haunting me all this time. So I really appreciate this chance. So thank you for this platform. We get to share our thoughts. We get to cry without anyone disrupting us. You know, crying is a form of healing. So I really appreciate for this chance, and I thank God for you, for giving you this opportunity to enable us share our experiences to the world, to enable us cry and find healing within ourselves. Such a pleasure. So I appreciate you for this chance. Yeah.